Hello, everyone, and welcome back. And what's on tap for today? Well, we've got another great reaction video. This time is Senator Tom Cotton grilling and questioning Attorney General Merrick Garland on the DOJ and the FBI memo that was targeting parents. We're going to get into all that next few seconds. But if it's the first time here, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to our channel because you're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I'm your guest host for today. My name is Dr. Nasir. Like, share, and follow us. Put us down in the comments below what you think of the video, what you think of Attorney General Merrick Garland and the memo. We'd love to hear your feedback. Hit that notification bell so you know when our other videos come out. Let's get to the video right now.
Directive sicking the feds on parents at school boards across America. When you crafted that October 4th memo, did you consult with senior leadership at the FBI?
My understanding was that the memo, or the idea of the memo, had been discussed with the FBI before it got.
Did anyone at the FBI express any doubt or disagreement or hesitation with your decision to issue that memo?
No one expressed that to me.
No one?
To me. No one expressed that to me, no.
Because a lot of them have contacted us, and they said they did, Judge.
I'm sorry?
A lot of FBI officials have contacted my office and said that they oppose this decision.
Well, I doubt any of them spoke to me about it because I didn't speak to no one.
All right.
Made that
All right.
to me.
Judge, you've repeatedly dissembled this morning about that directive. For instance, about the National Security Division. Chuck Grassley asked you a very simple question, why you would sick the National Security Division of the Department of Justice on parents. John Cornyn asked you the same thing. You said it wasn't in your October 4th memorandum, it was in another office's memorandum. It wasn't another office's memorandum, Judge. It was in a press release from your office, right here in front of me, October 4th, 2021, for immediate release. You're gonna create a task force that includes the National Security Division. What on earth does the National Security Division have to do with parents who are expressing disagreements at school boards?
Nothing in this memorandum or any memorandum is about parents expressing disagreements with their school board. The memorandum makes clear that parents...
This is such BS. Once again, we have the deep state, this time the Attorney General of the United States of America, basically saying that they're going to form, what, brown shirts, Gestapo movement, the NSD? I mean, that just sounds ominous, the NSD, the National Security Division. And these people are going to be going around the country harassing, who knows, Gestapo style, okay, SWAT armed tactics, you know, tanks around your house, machine guns drawn, breaking through your door, you know, in the middle of the night, you know, early in the morning, waking you out of bed, putting the handcuffs on you, perp walking you out, all because you dared to go to the school board meeting and voice your concerns as to why your children are being sexualized, why your children are being taught that they're not as good as anybody else, that they're oppressors, that they're this, they're that they're bad people. And Attorney General, he's just saying, you know, hey, it wasn't really my memo. That was a memo from down the street. I mean, this is unbelievable, the amount of lies that these guys continually foist upon the American public. And they CYA, they cover their ass with these unbelievable generalities when they're answering these questions. Like before, when he was asked, he said, hey, did any agents talk to you? Did they say? No, nobody, not a single agent or anybody at the FBI ever said anything to me that this memo was not going to work, or that we better take a better look at it, or there's some problems here. Nobody said anything. They said everything was perfectly fine. Nobody had a bad word to say about anything. I mean, this guy is another one of what I call, they just simmer. They're just simmering in their own stew. And that acronym SIMR is stupid, idiotic, moronic retards. That's exactly what these people are in Washington, D.C. Anyways, let's continue. And Senator Tom Cotton, do you see his demeanor in this questioning? Oh my God, this guy is on fire. He's on his game. Let's go.
Are entitled and protected by the First Amendment to have vigorous debates We don't, the Justice Department is not interested in that question at all. It is interested-
Okay, so even in that case, what is the
BS.
National Security Division, Judge? These are the people that are supposed to be chasing jihadists and Chinese spies. What does the
Yes.
National Security Division have to do with parents at school boards?
This is not, again, about parents at school boards. This is about threats of violence.
Okay, let me turn to that because you've said that phrase repeatedly throughout the morning. Threats or violence and threats of violence. Violence and threats of violence.
Yeah.
We've heard it a dozen times this morning. As Senator Lee pointed out, the very first line in your October 4th memorandum refers to harassment and intimidation. Why do you continue to dissemble in front of this committee that you are only talking about violence and threats of violence when your memo says harassment and intimidation?
Senator, I said in my testimony that it involved other kinds of criminal conduct, and I explained to Senator Lee that the statutory definitions of those terms and the constitutional definitions of those terms involve threats of violence.
Okay, let's look at one of those statutes you cited,
Yeah.
Section 223.
Yeah.
That statute covers the use of not just telephones, but telecommunications devices to annoy someone. So are you going to sick your U.S. attorneys and the FBI on a parents group if they post on Facebook something that annoys a school board member,
The
Judge?
answer to that is no, and the provision that I was
That's a bunch of BS, and he knows it. That's exactly what this was for. They were looking for absolutely specific language. These guys aren't stupid. These guys aren't more. I mean, up here, we're thinking that these guys are stupid, idiotic, moronic retards for what they're doing. In terms of who they are, I'm sort of using adjectives, modifiers to express that. Just there's other words we could use, but then there's a problem with some of certain words you can't say, right? But it's not that. It's just the fact that these people are so they are conniving. The lawyers they're shrewd, they're smart, they know how to utilize the words. All right? And these words have meanings, and they use it just like he said, harassment. What you tell me what harassment means. I mean, there's a whole, range of what are we talking about harassment. Right? I mean, so these are the words that they use, and then they can utilize these words to target people, and especially like Tom Cotton is saying, to target parents. Just for annoying somebody? I mean, look at the range. What's annoying? I mean, that's annoying after a while, but is that what we're talking about? Hello? Anybody there? Hello? Come on, Merrick Garland, hello? That would be annoying to Merrick, wouldn't it? So that's what I'm saying. But they know exactly what they're doing by putting these together, putting a policy in place so that it's kind of nebulous, and that way they can do whatever that they need to do to get their policy and the effect across. And that's they're weaponizing the DOJ and the FBI to go after average American citizens, parents. That's what they're doing.
was particularly drawing to his attention was 2261A, which was to engage in...
I wasn't talking about 2261A. I know you mentioned that. You also mentioned 223. That's what I mentioned.
Yeah, but the only
Judge, you also told Senator Klobuchar that this memorandum was about meetings and coordination.
Yeah.
Meetings and coordination.
Yeah.
Well, I have in my hand right here that I'll submit to the record a letter from one of your U.S. attorneys to all of the county attorneys, to the attorney general, to all sheriffs, to the school board association of his state, in which he talks about federal investigation and prosecution. It's not about meetings, it's not about coordination, it's about federal investigation and prosecution. Did you direct your U.S. attorneys to issue such a letter?
I did not. I have not seen that letter.
It's got 3 pages. It's got 3 pages of spreadsheet about all the federal crimes that a parent could be charged with, to include the ones you cited. Did Maine Justice make this spreadsheet, Judge?
I don't have any idea. My memorandum speaks specifically about setting up meetings, and I'll just...
I mean, again, he has no clue. A 3-page memorandum on such an important memo that he initiated, and basically he's saying, I don't know where that 3-page memo came from. I don't know who wrote it. I don't know the statutory limitations on what they're basically putting inside there. I have no idea that there's in that 3-page document that there's everything that a parent could be charged for. I have no idea. I never saw the document. What is this, like the three monkeys out there? Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil? I mean, come on, this is unbelievable.
Read it again, convene meetings.
Judge, we've all read your memorandum. We've also
then you
heard
know
you
what
dissemble about your memorandum. I have, and the record now shows, one of your U.S. attorneys sending out a letter about federal prosecution investigation and list in detail the federal statutes for which you could be prosecuted. Judge, you've talked a lot about intimidation and harassment. Have you issued a memorandum like your October 4th memorandum about the Black Lives Matter riots from last summer?
You're talking about the summer of 2020? In the summer of 2020, there
A lot of crimes committed. People haven't been
there were a
charged
lot
for
of
those crimes yet.
prosecutions, and they were under the previous administration.
Okay, Judge, what about
A lot of
this?
prosecutions.
It is no doubt, you're, even though parents at school boards aren't within federal jurisdiction, there's no doubt that federal officials are. You keep saying senators. Have you started an investigation into the harassment of Senator Kyrsten Sinema in a bathroom? Because she won't go along with the Democratic Party's big tax and spend agenda? That is a sitting United States senator being harassed in a bathroom.
I don't know whether the senator has referred the matter to the Justice Department or not.
You've cited as the basis.
So it didn't open up any investigation into the Black Lives Matter riots. Nothing like that, right? No investigations, no nothing. Didn't go after them. Nothing at all. The riots and after the other riots that spread across in other parts of the country, nothing. Christian Sinema, like the senator, when she was attacked and had to basically, seek refuge in a bathroom. Oh, the senator, I have no idea whether or not, she put anything forward, she put any papers forward, or that she reported, or she did anything, to start the paperwork. Well, why don't you go ahead and start the paperwork yourself, just like you did with the DOJ memo? Why didn't you reach out to Christian Sinema and ask her and say, Senator, what is it that we can do to help you? What happened? Give us some ideas, even if it was informal to begin with. But no, you don't want to do that. Why? Because that goes against what you guys are for. You guys aren't working for the American people. You're working against the American people. You've weaponized the DOJ and the FBI. That's what's happened.
The National School Board Association's letter of September 29th. Was that directive being prepared before September 29th, before the School Board Association letter was issued?
Good
I don't
question.
believe so. Certainly, I didn't have any idea.
So it was only prepared okay, I think that answers the
I
question.
already answered that
So
question
you
before.
keep citing the school board letter and news reports.
Right.
One of the news reports cited in that letter, which you presumably mean, is from Loudoun County, Virginia.
No, that is not what I was talking about.
Well, you keep citing news reports, and that's the most prominent news report that anyone in America has seen. That refers to Scott Smith, whose 15-year-old daughter was raped. She was raped in a bathroom by a boy wearing girls' clothes, and the Loudoun County School Board covered it up because it would have interfered with their transgendered policy during Pride Month.
And I just have to say this, for those of you that don't know about this, in Loudoun County, in Virginia, there was a boy who basically said that he wanted to become a girl, no transitioning, no hormones, no nothing. He just felt like that. And they allowed him to go and dress up whatever clothing that he wanted to in girls' clothes, and he could utilize the girls' restroom, and he raped someone there. He raped them. It was alleged at the time, but now they found out that yes, he did. And then they transferred him to another school where he did the exact same thing, raped another girl. But we're talking about Mr. Smith went to a meeting in Loudoun County to basically say that his daughter had been attacked, had been raped, had been victimized, had been sexualized. And any father, would have done the same exact damn thing. But guess what? He was arrested at that meeting and he was vilified. And it was him and his daughter that were basically the ones that were sort of put on public trial as to that these were lies. And the Loudoun County School Board, they effectively hid this. And they caused 2 students to be irreparably harmed, raped. That, folks, that's what he's talking about right here. And that just should not happen in the United States of America. But unfortunately, the FBI, did they investigate that? Did they offer their help in that? No, of course not. You know what? So what? A couple of people being raped. Some guy decides, okay, that he wants to say he's a girl and go into a girl's bathroom. We're not going to do that. But, that's okay. You can rape as much as you want. You can do whatever you want. But, you start to basically say, hey, what happened? My daughter got raped. That's annoyance. That's annoying. Okay? That's harassment. That's harassment. That's annoying. As a parent, basically pleading for some justice for your daughter. That's the way that the FBI and the DOJ and Attorney General Merrick Garland, that's the way they look at it.
And that man, Scott Smith, because he went to a school board and tried to defend his daughter's rights, was condemned internationally. Do you apologize to Scott Smith and his 15-year-old daughter, Judge?
Senator, anyone whose child was raped is the most horrific crime I can imagine, and is certainly entitled and protected by the First Amendment to protest to their school board about this.
But he was cited by the School Board Association
That's fine,
as a
but that's
domestic
not-
terrorist, which we now know that letter and those reports were the basis for your.
No, Senator,
this is
that's wrong.
Shameful. Judge, this is shameful. This testimony, your directive, your performance is shameful.
That's not.
Thank God you are not on the Supreme Court. You should resign in disgrace, Judge.
General Garland, do you want to complete your answer on?
Okay, I wasn't sure there was a question there, but let me be clear. The news reports I'm talking about were not the news reports in that letter. They were other news reports that
Well, he's just going to keep talking, blah, 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 blah. We could care less what you have to say anymore, Attorney General. But Tom Cotton, right there, basically, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should freaking resign immediately. And thank God you were not nominated to Supreme Court. Thank God that President Trump was there at that time. I mean, won obviously in 2016. Otherwise, we would have had this idiot, this hack would have been on the Supreme Court on the liberal side. Unbelievable, folks. Okay. I mean, Senator Tom Cotton, what can you say about Cotton and Hawley and Cruz and these guys? They have everything lined up, ready to go, question after question after question. They eviscerate these witnesses. They eviscerate these elitist hacks. They eviscerate these deep state media people. But the thing is that it just happens for a few minutes in time inside there. They're on the hot seat for a little bit, and then they go right back to doing everything that they were doing before. I mean, so in other words, a lot of it, you can just say it's all BS and it's all theater because there's no teeth to Congress said, what teeth do they have? They basically say, we need these documents. The lawyers from the other side basically say, what document are you talking about? And it goes back and forth. And by the time you get any information that you need or paperwork, it's buried under so much legality. It's just so hard to get any of these people to really, you subpoena people, they don't show up. You can't throw them in jail. You can't it's just, I don't know, folks. Just unbelievable what's going on. Unfreaking believable. Anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch the show. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your guest host. My name is Dr. Nasir. Hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow us. Comments below what you think. What do you think of Merrick Garland? What do you think of Tom Cotton? Leave you with my final thought, which is when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.